Stop using COVID-19 to promote your political agenda. The blood of the children being shot by out-of-control gang members in our city is on your hands and on the hands of every person who does not make public safety a priority.
Fresno County DA Smittcamp tearing into Governor Newsom's $0 bail order this week, calling on Newsom to do his job and open up the prisons. It comes as a massive crime wave has hit Fresno. 50 murders so far this year and double the shootings from this time a year ago. More than 500 now. The $0 bail policy was created with the goal of keeping jail populations low to avoid COVID-19 outbreaks. And that's how we're going to begin round number 2 with our panel. Let's welcome back Diane Pierce and Esmeralda Soria. So I want to get right to it. Diane, DA Smittcamp, is she right? Does the governor have blood on his hands when it comes to the $0 bail policy?
100%. She is completely accurate in that statement. There have been so many things we have seen this year since March and the lockdown started that were absolutely flying in the face of public safety, of public interest, and those types of things. And she's right when she says that Governor Newsom is using this pandemic, using a health emergency to promote a political agenda. He said from the beginning it was an opportunity to reconstruct or reimagine the government and economy and all of that of our state. And he is, making quick work of accomplishing that goal.
Esmeralda, I'll come to you. Same question here. Does the governor have blood on his hands here, as DA Smittcamp says?
Well, I will say that if she's right, then President Trump has the blood of 218,000 COVID deaths, including 430 Fresno County residents that have died because of COVID. That's 8 more times than those lost in the shootings that we've had in this year alone. The bottom line, guys, is that we all have the responsibility to manage COVID and really the increase in crime in our community. I'm tired of people pointing fingers and using the blame game and these sound bites that sound so great rather than ignoring the problem. We have a pandemic in front of us, and we have a violent crime issue in our community that we need to come together and solve here locally.
Yeah, but Esmeralda, did COVID-19 compound this other problem of $0 bail? Is that what you're saying?
And that's why I'm saying, but rather than continue to blame people and point fingers, we need to get together as some of my council members with community leaders, and I'm glad that they are getting together with the feds to bring the resources that we need. But blaming is not going to solve anything. We need to focus on looking at what we can do together as a local community rather than polarizing the issue.
So Esmeralda, I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to turn our attention to the heat exchange on City Council Thursday morning. Take a look at the video.
This is a corrupt process. You all ought to care. I know you think it's funny, Paul. You're part of the swamp. There's nothing but a swamp going on.
That's totally inappropriate. I'm sorry to the public, by the way. This whole exchange is shameful. And this is not.
Yes, it is shameful, Mr. Carbasi.
Gary, you can resign if there's so much corruption.
Now, here's the backstory on this. Council voted 6-1 in favor of an outside service, Olympic Properties, to clean up Chinatown. The contract, $250,000. It was lowered to about $143,000. No other bids were allowed. That is out of process. It was handed to Jim Veros, who, frankly, he's appeared here as a political analyst on this very show. Gary Bredefeld, is he right? Is this corrupt? Diane, actually, Esmeralda, I'm going to stick with you. You were on the dais. Is this corrupt?
You know, it was kind of sad to hear what happened this morning again, to just hear repeating it, and a little embarrassing because there's lack of decorum and really statesmanship. What happened today is nothing different than what happened a couple weeks ago when we all voted essentially to award a contract to build the animal shelter without going out to bid. So it's nothing new that doesn't happen on the council. I believe that there is something personal going on. It's a vendetta. This is a common theme that has happened on the council, and in terms of people having outbursts, and what is pretty sad and kind of pathetic that people resort to that type of lack of decorum and embarrassing. We're the 5th largest city in the state of California, and we are leaders, and we should represent our community in a better way. And today the debate just, was pretty embarrassing.
Diane, I'll come to you. What do you think about this? And does Bredefeld have a point? He calls it a swamp and corrupt.
Yeah, I think Councilman Bredefeld absolutely has a point. It smells fishy. Maybe at the end of the day it isn't, but it certainly looks and appears that way. And if there was another contract a couple weeks ago that was done the same way without bids, it definitely doesn't sound like the transparent kind of process that is meant to avoid corruption in these things. I also want to say, though, to the previous conversation, that holding our elected officials and our leaders accountable for policies that they put through, particularly when our governor has taken this one-man rule over the state, calling him out for those things and the repercussions of those is not blaming. It's not trying to avoid conversation. It's trying to hold people accountable and remind them that their actions and decisions have consequences. And I think that now I'll shift back to this, but with the contracts, I think that using the pandemic and the emergency order that's in place, that I guess has been kind of the loophole to having to send these things out to bid, that's meant for public health things as far as I understand. So why that would be used here with construction projects or cleanup projects, where certainly there's plenty of time to have these things go through the process.
Listen, I got 30 seconds here, and I want to give you guys each enough time, which is 15 seconds. I don't know, but let's try it. City taxpayer dollars. That's what we put into the city for this kind of thing. Why isn't the city cleaning it up, Esmeralda?
There has been a big problem, not just in Chinatown, throughout the city. That is why we've had to resort to do these types of contracts. I am working with neighborhood industries in the Tower District to do the same thing. The contract is to a different scale, but we don't have the capacity and the resources going out fast enough to get our neighborhoods cleaned up. We know that once a neighborhood is trashed, it continues to attract more trash, and it makes our city,
Diane, I got 15 seconds. Are taxpayers getting cheated here?
Absolutely. I think it's not a good enough excuse that the city isn't able to do it. In fact, they put a proposal together that said they could accomplish the exact same services for a much, much, much lower price tag. So again, we need to be holding people accountable. If there's services that the residents of Fresno deserve and expect, we need our leaders to make sure that those services are being delivered at the correct amount of money. That's what the process is for, and that's what the residents deserve. The leaders need to lead.
I got to wrap it there. Esmeralda Soria, Diane Pierce, thank you so much, and be well. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Coming up, how Kim Kardashian's favorite birthday gift came from the Library of Congress. It's our tweet of the week.